Happy Monday. This is Vickie Kello, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane. Every time I come on here, it's offline. It's very frustrating. Hi, Jean. All right. Okay, I will get out of there. Come on. Back here. So, hopefully I'll be able to see comments. Maybe not. Do it this way. I can see comments too, I think. All right, hopefully everyone had a lovely weekend. It wasn't too bad. We had a birthday celebrations for my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. It's my brother-in-law's birthday today. It's my stepson's birthday tomorrow. It was my father-in-law's birthday last week. It is all too much in February and March. So, did everyone else have a good weekend? I'm just trying to clean off this mess because I was madly trying to make a sample to have something to reference. And I've only just finished it. So it was good timing. Why don't I have any comments? Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jean. Right. So this is what we're making. Hi, Janice. How cute is this little box? And you can have lots of things in here. I've currently got 2 little gifts that I was given by the lovely Kerry. Little stenciling brushes, but you can have lip glosses, makeup brushes, lots of things in there. And this is made from the Irresistible Designs series paper. So for those that did my January class, you have plenty of this left over. You got a pack in the class. For those that are interested and now are seeing how pretty this paper is, I do have a couple of extra kits for the January class, and you can get sent the recording. So in this pack you get 2 of each sheet. They're all 12 by 12 papers. So I'm not sure whether the light is showing this up, but it's like the embossed resist paper. So you've got the checkered design, which is what I've made this box with. The checkered design. Then you've got the leaf design. And that's what we've done. We coloured it, and that's where the leaves came from there. And then we've got the flower design, which we also coloured, and that's where these flowers came from. Okay, so we're going to make the box together and then decorate it. I was going to use one of the other online exclusives, but I can't find one of my papers that I came with that. So anyway, we're doing this instead. What's happened? We've only got 3 people. I must have annoyed people and they all dropped off. I had like 7 there a minute ago. Saw the paper and ran off. Not interested. Anyway, so we are going to make a box. So you need a sheet of 12 by 12 and you need a bit extra. So I do not have enough of the bit extra for the leaves, so we're going to have to make the box out of the flowers, but that's okay. So Hi, Christina. Right, so we need a sheet that is, let me get these measurements, is 9.5 by 12 inches. So not many of us buy DSP, buy cardstock. That's 12 by 12 inches. You want a pretty sturdy piece of cardstock. This embossed resist paper is pretty good. I do have some two-tone cardstock. That's 12 by 12. I'm not sure whether that would be sturdy enough for this box. You do want quite a thick. So this paper is quite a thick DSP. So I'd be mindful of doing it with a thinner DSP as well. You want a thick one. Okay, so this 9.5 by 12 inches. On the long side, we are scoring at 1 inch, 3.5 inches, 6 inches, 8.5 inches, and 11. Hi, Sue. And then on the short side, we are scoring at 2.5 inches by 7. Now, this next piece we want to be just under 5 inches. So I've done it at 4 15/16, and I've still had to trim a bit off. I got the measurements from Mixed Up Craft, but she said it's not 4 7/8, but I'm going to try this one at 4 7/8 because I've had to trim a bit off anyway. So 4 7/8 by 9 3/8. And we are scoring the long side at 2.5 and 6 7/8. No, let's score that at 2.5, and then we turn it around and score that at 2.5. That's what we're going to do because I changed that measurement. 2.5. And then we are turning it short side and scoring at 2.5. Now it's not going to be quite 2.5 on the other side. So what you need to do is the other side of this we need to put as the base. So get your pencil. Base. And then I think this scrap bit that we just cut off that should be all right, but it should be 4 1/4 by 2 3/8. Right. Now the scrap bit we can put away. The smaller piece, burnish all the score lines. Right. Okay, and then we need to get our scissors. Actually, not those ones, they're these ones. And we're cutting up this score line. Oh, my eyes are blurry. Cut up that one. And cut up that one. All right. So you want this is building this piece here, in here. So you need the base. So you want the pattern paper. If you're making this out of cardstock, it wouldn't matter so much. But with us, because we're making this out of patterned paper, and this pattern paper is only one side up, the other side's just plain white. So we want to make sure it goes this way so that when we fold it inside, we're seeing the pretty papers. Okay? So you still want your base on the bottom, but just fold your score lines the other way. And then it just folds up like this. Okay, and you glue together. Now it doesn't matter that you've got a bit hanging off because we're actually going to trim that. So you want the top bit to go on the outside. Okay, so you can have glue on this bottom piece. And you want the top bit to go on the outside like that. Now, it is really important that you square your corners, like have good square corners with this, otherwise it will catch. Now, you can get like your tear and tape or something. Do I have one here? Oops. And put up there to trace around if you want to have a guide, but I'm just going to wing it. So this is the base, and we're just going to cut that arch into it. One side done. And then when you do the other side, then the other scrap piece that we cut, that was 2 3/8 by 4 1/4, is stuck on the bottom here. Okay. Everyone's too busy watching and no comments. I thought I was missing comments. Stick that on the bit that says the base, so make sure you get the base right. And stick that on the base. Okay. I'm just going to get a glue dot and stick that down because that's going to catch otherwise. Wet glue would be good with this so that you get a good coverage. Where's Megan tonight? She's going to miss everything. So that just goes on the base. There. And then we can get our bone folder, just stick that down there. All right, then what we also want to do is, see how I've got ribbons in here tying this, because otherwise if you don't have anything to tie it, then when you push it down everything's going to fall in. So you need some ribbons to tie it. Hi Marie. Okay, so when I did this one, I did, because my crocodile only goes in that far, I've got a bug flying around near me. Squash it on my paper. I did them side by side, but I've had to kind of tie my ribbon around what I'm trying to hold in there as well. So ideally you'd like to punch from either side so that you get a hole punch like here and here so that you can wrap around. So I'm going to try that this time. And what you do is you punch one in, and then the other one, you get your paper piercer or your pokey tool and pop that through. All right. So I'm just going to get my scissors now that I've done that. Just trim that. So that it doesn't look quite so terrible. It because it's going through 2 lots of DSP there, it's quite thick. Right, so then you want to get your ribbon. I'm using this pink ribbon because who doesn't like pink? It is the Bubble Bath 167075. So put that over to the side. And you want to feed this through. And then you want to feed the other side through. And just make sure they're even. There. Okay. So that's that. Just pop that to the side for the time being. Then we go back to our bigger piece that we've scored, and we burnish all the score lines on here. Okay, now this is another one, because this is quite a tight fit box, you need to be really precise with your cutting. Okay, so with your first side, so have the 1 inch, one of the 1 inch sides to you, so both of them have a 1 inch end, but have one of the 1 inch ends to you, and you just want to cut away this score line, not too much, but just cut it away slightly, and then this side too. Sometimes with boxes I like really wedge out. This is not one of those times. This is only a slight cut out. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up with there. I don't know how far down you can see, and it's a bit delayed. Okay. So then what we need to do, we need to cut up, like turn the paper and cut up the sides. And again, just like cut away that score line. Don't cut too much of the bulk, just pretty much that score line. I'm just going to cut. Buddy, in or out, mate? Okay, so we're just doing that on this side. And then with this one, just cut to that side of it, and then when we flip it, we're going to cut this edge away here. So cut on the side that you're cutting the score line away, so it's nice and clean for what is left. Okay, and then repeat that on the other side. So only a couple more to do. I'm struggling with the lights. I got the lighting changed in this room too for LED lights, because I only had the light above the fan, and the light above the fan was very yellow, not white. But then sometimes at night it's just still a bit hard to see, and I don't think it helps the older I get, the harder it is to see. Right, so there are our pieces left. Okay, we can pop our scissors down, and then how this box works then is that this middle bit is the box itself. This kind of comes up, that comes up, and then these bits come in to reinforce it. Okay, you want to make sure my last box was not quite square, and then I had some issues. So you just want to make sure that when you like rough this in, that it's going to be square. Hi, Lucia. Because otherwise you're going to have some issues in a second. And you need this bit, so the front bit needs to go on last so that it can reinforce everything. So it goes around so that on that. So on the white bits, because it's easier to stick the adhesive on the plain white cardstock as opposed to the embossed resist cardstock, you want adhesive on the first square and the last square. Then you also want adhesive on these reinforced strips as well, because it's going to be easier to put adhesive there now. So on the first, you can use tear and tape if you want. You could use wet glue. I don't like wet glue, so I don't use it. All right, so then we need to then put our box together, but you put the back on first. Line that up. And this is really important that you take your time here and get this right, because if your box is not square, it doesn't, you have issues later. Okay, then just fold that back for the time being. Then fold this front bit over. And then you've got the reinforced bits, so you can push them down. This feels a bit better than it did last time. Okay, so, and then you just get your bone folder and stick all of that down. And reinforce. So if you didn't want to do the flip top box, then this is a nice little box as it is. It's beautiful. And that works just well. Not quite square there, but anyway. So now, hi Marnie. It is a good size box, isn't it? So if you just wanted to have this box, like you could get these socks in that a friend gave me. I'm sure they would fit in there. It's just that little tag bit. But they would fit in there nicely. So if it didn't have a big tag there, they would fit in nicer. But heaps of things would fit in there. And that is a really good size box. All right. So I'm going to close this box. So what we need to do first, because learn from my mistakes, you don't want to have two lots of hole punches here. So you need to punch the lid first, and we want the small hole. So punch the 2 holes in the lid. Then, this is why you make a sample first before you go online. Close your box. And then draw your little holes so you know where to then punch. And it's easier to do this before you stick the next bit in. So then you line up. Hi Laura. You get to see the finished product. Right. So there's our holes for closure. Now bring in this bit that we had first. Now this needs to stick, and it should just be like a 15th smaller than the width of the box, so that it slides in and out. You want to make sure that the ribbon is like in there, because that's to hold the items. And so just kind of rough in first, because this DSP does not like being ripped apart again. And that looks like it's gonna fit in there nicely and close. So my first one I had to do running repairs. So then you need to stick adhesive on the back of this to this lid. Now you want to line it up right to that score line, and so that the box, like it's inside the box, but you want it right up to the score line at that top. It's a bit hard putting adhesive on here if you're using seal, but if you're using wet glue, you'll have no problem. So I'm just gonna stick my seal directly on this box because it's a flat surface. Right, and can I get another? You want to make sure it's stuck in there real good, right? Well, you can see my hair. Good thing I covered all my greys the other day. Otherwise you'd be seeing all them. Okay, so then you need to, this gets a little bit tricky and it's hard to do on camera without getting in the light. So you want it right up to this score line, but with, it's like it needs to be even gap on both sides. But you obviously don't want it to go over the score line. Right, and then stick that down. So then let's cross our fingers. Yay, this one works much better. Okay, so that size of 4 7/8 is much better than the 4 15th, 16th. It's not enough. Maybe this paper's too thick. I don't know. But anyway, So we're going to get some more ribbon because this ribbon is so pretty, and whoever uses a whole roll of ribbon themselves, besides when you do a class. So I've got to start using it. So we need to feed it through with our pokey tool, the closure, feed it through one hole at the back, whoops, and feed it through the other hole at the back. Okay, so then make sure they're even. And then, good night, chicken.
Love you, Mum.
Love you. Right, so what I've put in this box is some of these stencil brushes that Kerry gave me. They fit in there really well. You could do lip glosses, you could do like a little hand cream. You don't want anything too weighty, but whatever you do put in here, you need to have the ribbon to hold it on, because otherwise when you shut it, it's going to fall in the box and it won't come back out. Okay, so I'm just going to try, and this might be just a little bit too wide. We could do this rubber. What else have I got here actually? But you don't want anything too heavy. So I've got that and a key ring. Let's put that on the bottom. Well, see, that's what you don't want to have happen. And I've got another key ring just because. So you want to tie them all on. Probably that key ring's not going to work. If I tie it, maybe if I tied that on, it'd be fine. But tie it on, put a bow on it. So that then it goes in the box, closes, and then when you bring it back up, this is too heavy or too loose in there. You need something that's a little bit more sturdy. What else have I got? That one would work well. That other key ring's too heavy, but these two key rings would be lovely in there. Some craft things you could do. I wonder if you could do a block. I don't have that small block. Here. You could definitely do this block. Oops. Yeah. Whoops. You just have to make sure. You probably want, if you've got a heavier item, you probably want a thicker ribbon. A watch, yep. A little necklace or something. You don't want anything too wide. But so I've got heaps of ribbon there. Like once you've tied your gift in there, you can calm that down a little bit and cut it down. But then look at that. See, look, that works perfect. And that's quite heavy. You just want to tie it in the middle so the weight, even weight distribution on there. So we can have that in there. And then let's close this. So then you feed that back through here. And a thicker ribbon would give you a little bit more leeway to play a little bit in there too. I don't know, would a bigger block fit? Do I have it on the bigger block? I think this block is too big. Yes, that block is too big. So not an eye block. But you could definitely do socks, key rings, earrings, yeah, any piece of jewelry. Ribbon, the box is not wide enough for ribbon, but if you were just putting in like strips of ribbon and things rather than a roll of ribbon, definitely. Not quite wide enough for some gems, I'm sure you'll find lots of things that would fit in there. So then this then closes down on that. And you could, obviously, once you've tied it and everything, I don't like cutting my ribbon on boxes like this until I'm ready to gift it. Because if I tie it all nice now and show you that it looks really pretty, then when I go to untie it so that I can actually put what I want to put in here and then go to tie it again, I don't have enough ribbon to tie a bow because my fingers are so fat. So I have all the ribbon until I'm ready to go. And then we're using the paper still, this beautiful paper, because that's where I got these flowers from on here to now decorate. The flowers and the leaves all came from this paper. So this is the flower paper. That's now, I don't know about you, but I cannot see this to cut out when it's white. So it's easier to colour before you cut. So this is the paper that we use for my January online class. If anyone is interested and didn't attend the January online class, there are 3 other projects which we did with this, and I still have 2 packs, 2 class kits available. So if you're keen, now that you've seen this paper, because it's pretty awesome, there's still 2 class kits available. Now you can go as light or as dark as you want. I want it pretty dark so that I can see the bloody things to cut out. And then the leaf paper is also in this pack. Are you going to on stage? No, I'm not going to on stage because I just came back from that cruise. So I can't have 2 girls trips in such a short time. I'm doing Summer Splash. So, and again, you can go as light or as dark as you want. And I'm just colouring those leaves. Obviously, if you want light, you need to go light first because you can't take away colour, but you can add colour. Now with the Emboss Resist, it's always good once you've finished to go over it to take the ink off all the white embossed bits so that it doesn't transfer to your hands or your fingers and stuff like that. So you just need a tissue. You don't want a wet wipe, you just want a tissue. So I'm going to pop that over there because now we need to fussy cut. Whoops. And it doesn't matter if you've got partial flowers and whatever, just cut them out however many you feel like it. Neither of my groom's 80th that weekend. Oh, that's a pretty big milestone, Laura. So I'm just fussy cutting these out. So once you've done the colouring, it's much easier to fussy cut. There is no way I could have even fussy cut these before adding the colour to them. I just couldn't see white on white, especially at night with these lights. But you can add whatever colours you want. You could have yellow, you could have blue flowers if you wanted. I just like pink, so I went with pink, and that pink ribbon I only opened tonight because I have got like 5 or 6 rolls of ribbon that I've not ever opened. Some of them retire before that. I'm like, I'm going to add ribbon and gems to everything. This year I've started adding 5 gems to everything, and you know what? It's actually helping a little bit because I didn't realise how many projects I actually make. But using 3 gems on everything, I'm never going to go through my lifetime supply of gems, and so many of them retire before I even get to them. But using 5, I've nearly finished my ladybug gems, You know, the ones that come with cute as a bug? I'm like, I had to order another pack today. And you're like, why did you order another pack? Because didn't you order 3 packs? Yeah, I did. And I ended up giving them away as my thank you gifts for my orders in January. So with them, with a couple of other ones. So I now actually have to order myself some new ladybugs because I'm still playing. Because if Lucia is still on, look, she inspired me to make these cards. Whoa! I saw hers the other week and I made these. And there's no stamping. Not one bit of stamping on these at all. How cute are these? Most of it's die cut, some of it's fussy cut. But how cute are they? And they were pretty easy to make. Where did my leaves just go though? There they are. So when I cut the leaves, I cut out separate leaves, not the leaf total, like the leaf branch. I just want single leaves. But again, I wouldn't be able to see them if I didn't colour them first. So it doesn't take a lot to fussy cut these out. But this paper is so cool because it's already done for you. Like all you have to do is colour it. So you get 2 sheets of each pattern in, and they're 12 by 12. And I don't actually think it's that very expensive. Where is Megan tonight? She's usually my cost thing. I think it's only like $16.50 or $17.50 for a pack of this paper. So the stamps that I'm using are the banner sayings. They're just little sayings, and it comes in a bundle at the moment with this triple banner punch. I think that's what it's called. It's amazing. I love it. I do like, years ago we had a stamp called Itty Bitty Greetings. That was my favourite stamp set as well, and this is very similar to that. And I do like banners because I'm not very good at making my own. So this punch comes with 3 different types of banners. So I'm going to put You Are the Sweetest, because then you could just put even chocolates in here. Chocolates would be hard. You'd need to like put them in maybe a cellophane bag. You can't buy the bug sweet now. I'm sure it's not the whole sweet that's unavailable. I would say it's just bits and pieces of it. I think it's just the dies that were out maybe. So you could get parts of it. You just can't buy the whole sweet as one number. You could put bits in it. You could put the chocolates in like a little zippy bag or something in there to make it, and then tie that in there. That'd be good. Right, so then with this banner punch, if you have a single strip like this, it makes it easier, because I'm like, I don't want the banner over this side. I want the banner over that side. So then I can turn the punch over and go this side. And so if you have a single strip, then you can choose which banner you want to. Okay. And then where did I put my dimensionals? Over here. So let's add some dimensionals to the back of the banner. And pop that, let's cover that goober, whatever that is, it looks like leftover. Glue. So I've got a couple of purple ones here as well. which I might kind of pop in. Yes, Sweet is available for $131.50. Oh, it might be. Yeah, there was a whole heap that came back on yesterday or today. Yesterday or the day before. So maybe it's just come back in stock. Sue. So I'm going to just separate this purple one. So that we can let's separate this one too. Because then that can kind of sit. Thanks, Janice. Sit in there like that. And we need another one because we need to have things in odd numbers. I'm getting really hot. I thought my husband put the air on in here, but it does not feel like it. That, or I'm having a hot flush. It might have just come in today and they've just updated it. Sue, because I know there's a whole heap of things, especially with the March online exclusives, that are available tomorrow, which is why I was going to use them. That looks good. Let's stick stickers on them. And they have come back in stock. Some of them weren't in stock. So there is a whole heap of March online exclusives that come out available to customers tomorrow. I have a couple of things in front of me, which I'm happy to show you. I had to go searching around my thing. I didn't think Stampin' Up! Included one of the things, but I'd packaged it away differently. So it was me having a boy look rather than Stampin' Up! Not sending it to me. But by that time, I had already decided I was making this instead. So can we move that back a bit? There we go. Now I've only got 3 leaves really. So let's stick them. Must have just been too efficient, Sue, getting on too early. And they hadn't got their order yet. And this one, this itty bitty one here. So how nice is it that I have essentially done this like with hardly any stamping. I've only stamped the sentiment because the paper, I coloured the paper and cut the paper myself. That's pretty cool when the paper is the design of the box and the embellishments. And then finishing it off with gems. Now these are the 2024-26 flat in colour pearls. They're going to retire. I hadn't opened the packet yet, so that's what I'm using. And they're amazing. And even though I've used Bubble Bath, it's a pretty close thing with Petal Pink. So I'm going to stick a gem in the middle of each of the pink flowers. This one might even, because I've got 5 flowers, might even have 7 gems on it. Let's stick this one. This is not the right purple, but that still looks pretty close. I used Highland Heather. This is Petunia Pop, but look at that. I don't think that's terrible. And then I'm going to stick, because I've not used any of these green ones yet. because that is Summer Splash. Look at that. I love it. So these gems are a must. I love them. So here's 2 different boxes. This one we just did pink flowers with the pink gems, and it's got the checker design. This is the flower design, and undo the box. This one is holding a block in there, and this one is holding some stenciling brushes that I got given as a gift. How cool is that? So I will try, I move, because these Facebook Lives only last for 30 days on your Facebook page, I do move them to YouTube. So if you haven't got all the measurements or anything from this, you can go over to my YouTube page, which is just Vickie Kello, and find it from there. Now, the online exclusives, which start today, start tomorrow. Let's move that because that is not clean. This is One Sweet, which is the Delicate Wishes Suite. It comes with the Delicate Whisper dies, the Delicate Whisper stamp set. These gems, they're flat, natural matte dots, but they're quite flat. I like them. The packaging was super big, so it didn't fit in mine, so I did have to cut the side off it, but that's all right. You get this grey granite ribbon. That's really pretty. And then this stunning paper. Let's move those brushes out of the way because they will have ink on them. So this paper, I don't know why they show it to you with the green up, because I think this is probably the most hideous piece in the pack. But look at that. This is the side you want, the foil side. How pretty is this? This side's not too bad, but look at the foil. I love the foil. And more foil. It's so pretty. So this is a suite. This is everything that comes in the suite. You get 2 packs of paper in the suite. So that's 1 pack. That is Delicate Dreams paper. Then you get this paper, which is Delicate Designs. Just open mine at the same time. Stunning. Yes. So demos have been able to pre-order this for a month. Customers can order this from tomorrow. Now this paper is only single-sided, but it's got the copper foiling as well. And this is 2 pieces of 3 designs. But this is only single-sided, so the other side is just plain white. So this would be amazing in this box that I just made, because it's the same as that, except this is already pre-coloured. So how pretty is that? So that is one design. That is the Delicate Wishes suite that is available tomorrow to customers. I cannot remember the price of that suite off the top of my head. And then the other suite is this one. And I need to have the gems. Okay. $161.75 is that suite. Thank you very much, Janice. And then this suite is the Poetry Garden or something. Paradise Garden, maybe? Paradise Garden. Maybe it's poetry. I don't know. I can't remember. But this is this suite. Let's do the thing first. So you get this stamp set. You get stamp and embossing folder. Comes as one. So it's one of those hybrid embossing folders. So it's that. This really pretty berry burst ribbon. How pretty is that? And that's got a shimmer to it. That's very pretty. These gems, these are only tiny. Garden epoxy dots. But you get circles and they look like stars or flowers. Put them up because I don't have room for this paper. And then this paper is so pretty. It's the berry burst. Calypso coral, I think. Garden poultry, 175.25. And the blue, and the green, and the yellow, and then the coloured. That's really pretty. With then this foil paper, garden textured specialty foil. So that comes in the pink, the berry burst, this stinks. The shaded spruce and the blueberry bushel, is it? Holy dooly, this stinks. Yeah, blueberry bushel and shaded spruce. Whew. Okay. It probably doesn't stink as bad as I'm making out, but I've had a migraine for yesterday and it hasn't really gone, and today I'm really sensitive to smells. That is stinky paper. But they're two of the sweets. I don't think I've got anything else that's a sweet. The other two things that are available are these scalloped wishes. So they go on sale for tomorrow as well as a online exclusive. So if anyone's interested in any online exclusives, let me know. If not, I did put up the class for March. So if everyone can let me know as soon as possible so I can make sure that I've got enough product to order, that would be great. And if anyone did miss out on the January or February class, I do have a spare. I have 2 spare of January and 1 spare of February. If you would like to purchase that, let me know and I can organise that and send the recording. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.